Good morning, Baycroft. Mr. Mitchell here. How you all doing out there? Welcome to Wednesday here on Baycroft TV. Now, this is the second day of me talking about women that I have found inspiring and who, in their own way, whether it be in a small way or in a kind of big world-changing way, are making the world a better place. People that even grumpy, hairy old men like me take a lot of pleasure in knowing about, and take a lot of pleasure in knowing that people like this exist in the world. So today I want to talk a little bit about someone who stands out as really inspiring. She's someone you've probably heard of, and deservedly so, but you may not remember her name. Her name is Malala Yousafzai. Now, Malala was born in Pakistan, up here, and she comes from a very proud and ancient ethnic group called Pashtuns. The Pashtun people number many millions of people across the continent of Asia and have an absolutely fascinating culture called Pashtunwali, which is a way of living which is still followed today, but it's actually older than many of our present religions, including Islam and Christianity. Anyway, Malala was born into a family who placed a lot of importance on education. In our country, we know that we're going to go to school and learn, but in many places in the world, that's not the case, especially for girls. But Malala was lucky because her father ran a chain of schools in Pakistan and Malala attended one. She herself planned on growing up to become a teacher. The problem was, when Malala was 10, a group called the Taliban took over the area where she lived. Now, the Taliban lived by a very strict form of their religion, and they believed that education for women was wrong. Many schools in the area that Malala lived in were then shut or in some cases burned down. Now, that's a pretty scary situation, isn't it? But Malala was, and is, a strong, courageous and inspiring person, and she argued very loudly using the internet and the BBC, amongst other things, to say that girls should have the same right as boys when it came to learning.
I will get my education if it is in home, school or any place. What, really?
Sadly, this then upset the Taliban, who tried to kill Malala by shooting her. Malala was obviously then very sick and was flown to England for surgery, but also for her own safety. And amazingly, she not only survived, but she went to go back to school, fight for the rights of girls in education, and went on to win the Nobel Peace Prize. Now, the Nobel Peace Prize sounds very, very posh, and it kind of is. It's not something that you'll be particularly familiar with, but it's kind of a big deal. Just to show you what a big deal it was, just 2 years earlier, that same prize was won by Barack Obama, the leader of one of the most powerful countries in the world, America, and a pretty inspiring person in his own right. And guess where she was when she found out that she had won one of the most famous prizes in the world. She was in class, in school, in England, which I think is very, very fitting. This was just a young schoolgirl from a small place that not many people would have heard of, her small town in Pakistan, and she worked and fought for what she believed in and is making the whole world listen. Oh, and you know I said she was shot? Well, she has since said that she doesn't wish anything bad to happen to the people who did that. She just wants them to understand. So that's Malala Yousafzai, a young lady so inspiring, even I can't find anything silly to say about her. Let's carry on with the broadcast.
You alright, Baycroft? How's it all going? Nice and easy one today. We're going to be doing something called mountain climbers, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to start off by going into a press up position. That's making sure we've got that nice straight back, straight arms. So we're going to be like this. Then what you're going to do is you're going to bring one leg up, put it back down, bring the other leg up. Okay? You're going to keep going like this and it's really good for working your core muscles. You want to make sure that you've got a nice stable base, so make sure those hands stay in the same spot and your feet go back to where they were originally. Now you're just going to keep going for about 20 times on each foot. Take a rest and then you can go again if you feel up to it, okay? See you later, Baycroft. Have a good one.
Hello Baycroft! Thank you Mrs Kiff for starting off eSafety Week. You've done an amazing job and you've shared some really interesting and helpful tips on how to stay safe. I hope you've been watching very carefully. Remember, there's going to be a quiz and some challenges for you to complete on Friday. So today I'm going to be speaking to you about social media and in particular the last S that Mrs Kiff talked about yesterday: support. Social media is a worldwide phenomenon. We're talking about businesses worth millions of pounds, audiences of over 1 billion people. See how massive social media is? Watch this quick video to give you a few facts and figures. So, what do you do if something isn't quite right? Might sound a bit offensive, or might make you feel a bit uncomfortable? Well, I'm going to give you 3 things that you could do if this happens to you. So, you could unfriend the other user, which means you can no longer view each other's profiles. You could block them, which means you become invisible to them and they cannot contact you in any form, even direct messages. Or you could report their post, which means their account could be deactivated and the post removed to stop other people being hurt or offended. And of course, always remember to tell a trusted adult or friend. If you're not sure how to do these things on common social media platforms, please visit onlinesafetyuk.com. Okay, so now you know what to do if you come up into any trouble, but how can you stay safe in the first place? Here are 5 top tips to improving your safety on social media.
Morning Baycroft. Don't worry, it's not an alien invasion. I've just come in from having my bike ride. While I was out riding, I thought a lot about the design of the bicycle. So I made a short presentation all about the history of the design of the bicycle. I've also set you some challenges. Look out for the challenges after the presentation. Bicycle design, a brief history. 201 years ago on this day in history, on the 21st of May, bicycles were first seen in the United States. It was in New York City. They were originally known as swift walkers, but New York wouldn't have looked anything like we know it today. New York then looked something a little bit like this, and this. And the swift walkers didn't look like your current bicycle. they would have looked like this, or this. In Europe, they were known as the dandy horse, or the hobby horse. They had no crank and no chain, no brakes, and you couldn't steer them easily, so it was very difficult to actually move them about. In 1858, on the velocipede or bone shaker, pedals were added, but they still didn't have a chain, and that made pedalling them really difficult. To get round this, they built bikes with massive wheels, called penny farthings. Then, in 1879, Henry Lawson created a bicycle called the bicyclette, which was driven by a chain. And later on, John Starley developed this design into his safety bicycle, which looks very much like a bike of today. Over the years, there have been many developments such as pneumatic tyres, gears, suspension, and super light frames. These developments have been brought forward by sport, comfort, and new materials. Maybe you've got a bike at home. Perhaps it's a road bike or a mountain bike. Maybe it's a hybrid or even a BMX. They all owe their design to the John Starley safety bicycle of 1884. The challenges are coming up now. For your green challenge, I'd like you to have a go at naming the parts of a bicycle. For your orange challenge, I'd like you to have a go at drawing a bicycle without looking at one or looking at a picture. And the red challenge is to design what you think the future bicycle might look like, maybe in 100 years' time. Have a go at them. I look forward to some of your work if you can send it into the usual address. Be good, stay safe.
Good morning, Baycroft. I expect you're wondering why on earth is Mrs. Horsley sat in the bath? Has she completely lost the plot? Not yet, but all will become clear at the end of this video. First of all, have you ever wondered what these little tiny things on your jeans are? These are rivets. Do you know why they're put there? I'm going to tell you. So these two gentlemen here, Levi Strauss and Jacob Davis, on the 20th of May 1873, patented this, and the reason they're there is to make the pockets stronger. They were originally also inserted on the back, but it turned out that they scratched furniture and scratched the leather on saddles. So in 1937, the back pockets, the rivets were covered. They were still there, but they were covered. And then it was in 1966 that they finally removed them altogether. So that's a little bit of history about your jeans and the rivets and why they're there. Now I'm going to set you a little bit of a competition. I would like you to design something on your jeans with crayons or anything that you have at home, or if you really do fancy getting creative, cut up a pair of jeans and see what you can make from them. You can make a bag, a skirt, pencil cases, all sorts, and send them in to Baycroft TV. Now, the reason why Mrs. Horsley is in the bath is because back in the 80s, I know it's a long time ago, they used to do some jeans that basically you used to sit in the bath and they used to shrink to fit you. So that's what I'm doing now, trying to shrink my jeans. Take care, guys. See you all soon. Bye.
Do you ever look at someone and wonder what is going on inside their head?
Ariel, listen, the human world, it's a mess. Life under the sea is so much better than anything they got out there. The seaweed is always greener in somebody else's way.
Yesterday's sign was Tuesday. Today's sign is Wednesday. Wednesday.
Hi guys, Mr. Mitchell back again, just looking to sign off for the day, and I thought we would end on a joke. Before we do, I'd just like to say thank you very much for watching. Stay safe, be kind to each other, particularly your parents and carers. And here's that joke. Knock knock. Europe. Okay, yeah, I'll go and grow up then, shall I?